Morning everybody, it's 8 o'clock, 29th of November, Saturday. We just parked up outside the bridge inn, going to have a bit of breakfast before the Acorn Winter League round 2. We did go fishing last week. Just in time for my little pre-chat, look.
Oh, never. Where's the camera?
There, look.
Hungry?
So this is Gareth. He's on the Winter League as well. He's obviously hungry this morning. Doesn't normally come for breakfast.
Bob.
Yeah. So let's get in there, have a bit of breakfast, and hope for a BungHole. Fingers crossed. Boys. So straight across, first to see if they're in the shallow water, as we always do, and we're just dobbing initially, so that's no feed, just a little bit of bread on the hook, but you can use maggots, white maggots, red maggots, whatever, really, whatever you got confidence in. And I'm just off the bottom with this to start with. So 15 minutes of dobbing has gone by and not even a liner. So the peg is proving to be what I thought it was, which is going to be tough. 31 is actually the worst peg in the section, if I'm absolutely honest, but it's just one of those, you just got to get your head around it, haven't you? So across now with a little bit of feed, so there's no fish there as such, or not close, so we're looking to draw fish in now, so that means a little bit of micro. For me at Acorn, if you haven't got fish in the peg and you've got to draw fish in, it's a bit of micro. And then we've got a 4mm expander, ever the optimist, on the hook, but we're probably going to end up going maggot or pinkies. There's a tinge of colour, it's not too bright, and there's a bit of depth across. So if there was fish there, I'd fancy we'd catch one or two. The weather is very unsettled though, as you can see. We get heavy clouds at the moment and then sort of bright sunshine cuts through every now and then. And the wind is proper cold as well. It's still brilliant, isn't it? We're fishing. So not a sign across, so we decide to feed our second shelf. And as you can see, we've put it sort of in line with that post, or it's in line from where I'm sat. And I've got a single maggot on now. I'm just dripping a few micros, couple of maggots in there, and then I'm going back across with that single maggot on. We've fed it across there only the once, waited sort of a full 10 minutes, nothing's happened. But we're just going to try over it now. It's settled a bit more, and also to give that second shelf a little bit of rest. If I caught straight away across and then it had died, sort of thing, I might have gone straight on that feed on the second shelf. But as we've had nothing across, no liners or nothing, it's pointless. And our first bite, it's actually took us an hour in the match before we've got this one. I'm not too sure this is properly hooked now, actually. That's the only trouble with sort of fishing the second shelf, if you like. It is a shelf. And fishing off to our left as well. It's sort of running back towards us and off to the left, if you know what I mean. And you've probably seen earlier when I sort of led me rigging, I'm lying the float, or I should say the pole tips to the right and me hook to the left, if you know what I mean. So it can sort of swing into that slope. But yeah, this is definitely not properly hooked. Such a shame they're at a real premium and we've gone and fouled it. Might get lucky. The hook hold might hold. Either way, at least we know that sort of 3.5 foot depth of water there were fish there, weren't there? It wasn't like I sort of picked the float up and it came a foot out of the water before we sort of hooked it. It felt like it was a bite. The fish was right down at that depth. So if we do lose this, we got something to work with at last, be it just a depth. Oh, oh, unbelievable. Incredibly, that's broke me float. The eye has actually come out the side of me float. Oh, I never break floats either. That's unbelievable. First fish, foul hooked and smashed me float up, and we're on the worst bait in the section. Honestly, does it get any worse, really? Ah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's winter. Just got to put up with it, haven't you? We'll get another rig out, we'll plumb up, we'll sort it all out, and we'll get going again. Don't beat yourself up about these things because if you're an avid match angler like myself and thousands more of us across the country, you want to go out in the winter, and you're going to experience this. This is typical winter fishing, isn't it? And this one feels better. And as we were saying, though, touching on winter fishing and drawing poorly and such, I mean, I've known very good anglers in the past go out of fishing and say, oh, I'm fed up with it, or I'm this, that, and the other. And the truth of the matter is, they've just had a really bad run of poor draws. And that can happen to anybody. You've just got to fish through it. Keep going, fish through it, and you'll get your fair share of draws in the end. It happens. You just got to set it. You just got to set it as a little challenge for yourself, haven't you? I'm on a not a very good peg, and I'm going to see what I can catch out of it. And that's it. A nice little stocky. So over an hour, and we're finally off the mark. We've avoided the blank anyway, haven't we? Always good to avoid that. So we tried that second shelf again, no good. Um, and so we popped back across, and as you've seen, we caught. And this feels a good fish on light tackle as well, so there's no rush. There's certainly at a premium today. I'm not expecting many, so certainly not going to rush it. And he just went for me keep nets then, so I just scooped him nice. So we fed across after the last fish, and then spent the next 20 minutes on the second shelf again for nothing. So we're back across again now. So although we've caught another one across, which is great, I'm a little bit disappointed with that second shelf. I thought we might have caught a few more, but it just seems like we caught those couple of fish, and it's gone, to be honest. And this fish is on a single maggot, tiny bit of micro, couple of maggots in the cad pot. putting in very little feed wise. I don't mind 1 or 2 bites. I was going to keep 1 or 2 bites coming. It's nice, isn't it? That first hour plus was just very, very poor. But I think that's always testament, isn't it? To any peg really, but especially in the winter. If you catch early in that first hour, you're on a few, aren't you? And then they go quiet in the middle reaches, and you catch again late, and it's up to you to do what you can in the middle. But it's been quite the reverse today. We've sort of caught nothing early at all. So it's died across now. So we've just gone down the middle, see what we can catch. Sat there for a good 7 or 8 minutes, and we got a little roach. Not the best sign, but it's something. So we catch nothing else on all our lines then for an hour. So just as we thought we were stringing one or two together, it's just gone pear-shaped again. So this bite was completely out of the blue then across. I think this is what, our fifth or sixth little carp. Um, well, not little ones. We've had a couple of decent ones, but yeah. But it's not. Within the section, it's nowhere near enough. The only trouble with this at the moment, I sort of sat as I'm fishing, I'm thinking, where am I going to get a run of fish late in the match to sort of catch up, if anything? And I just don't know where that's going to come from, if I'm honest. We've so we keep rotating our lines and we're working hard. Sensible skimmer, that's right. Ticking over. Checking the time, and we're over 3 hours into the match already. So back across, but not a sniff again. And not a liner on that second shelf either. So we decide now after 30 minutes of a crossing on that second shelf again to replumb on the second shelf. So we've gone further to our left, followed the shelf along. But as we followed the shelf along and it's going away from us, we've had to go a little bit longer on the pole, haven't we? Um, and with that little bit of breeze, it doesn't look nothing, but it is quite snaring and it is hampering the pole a little bit. But worse than that, from where I'm sat, it's actually every now and then sort of hampering visibility. But it's just a chance we've got to take. We've got to chase the fish a little bit, so that's what we're trying to do. So we fed it, went down the middle, nothing. So now we've gone across on that little bit of feed, and it's worked, hasn't it? It's give us a bite. It's far from ideal though. When you've got to start chasing fish like that, and getting a bite here and there, and chasing them further along the shelf, it's never good because you're kind of chasing them out of your peg, if that makes sense. But we have no other option really. We're just trying to catch everything we can now, however we can. I'm not sure we're going to get a run of fish anywhere late, so we'll take them when we can. Feels like another lively little stocky. Very welcome. You probably noticed from our kit we've changed it a little bit now. Um, I'm using Keatnet's Direct Elastic now. The yellow. It's a little bit lighter than white hydro, but a little bit stronger than blue hydro, if that makes sense. Sort of sits in between. I quite like it this time of year. Now on to the short line. So I was quite surprised about that, to be honest, getting a bite there at all. But it is 4.5 foot deep, but yeah, very nice. Not sure it's a carp though. It's a nice fish. Oh, it's a beautiful tench. There's some lovely fish in here. Quality fish of all species. That's a lovely tench. The sun come out briefly. It is quite nice. So another stocky across. And this, unfortunately, was the only fish we hooked in the last hour and 15 minutes of the match. We actually ended up with, well, I won't tell you our weight yet, you'll see in a minute, but we've ended up nowhere in section. We beat only two in the section, but I needed 50% of my catch again to make the top three in the section, and that was never going to happen. I mean, if you miss out by, say, 10% of your weight, you know, you sort of look back and think, yeah, maybe possibly I could have had that, but But another 50% of me catch, no, no, not going to happen. But a nice day's fishing. I mean, that might sound silly, but I quite enjoyed it because we have caught a few fish, haven't we? Such as the fishery that Acorn is. You only beat a couple and you come nowhere, but you've still had a reasonable day's fishing. And this is winter fishing. This is what it's all about.